Hello everyone, my name is Mothra, and this is my new video series called Fun, Fandom, and Fashion Fridays. This is going to be a video series where I talk about things that have caught my interest on the internet.
In this video, we are going to be covering Labubus.
So let's start out with the biggest question. What is a Labubu, and why is she so popular? Well, Labubus are a blind box and keychain line sold by the Chinese retailer Pop Mart. Labubus are part of the Monster series, which includes other characters such as Zimomo and Nikoko, but we will go over that later. The Monster series was created by Kai Sang-lung, a Hong Kong native who grew up in the Netherlands. And to marry the two cultures that he grew up with, he created the Monster series. Now, the Monsters wasn't very popular at first. The Monsters characters started out in a storybook written by Kai Sang-lung in 2015. However, it wasn't until 2019 that manufacturing on the blind box toys began. The Labubus didn't quite gain popularity in the United States, however, until the singer Rihanna and the rapper Cardi B were seen carrying Labubus on their purses. Labubus are manufactured and sold by a company called Pop Mart, and they're sold all over the world. But in China, where they are located and headquartered, they even have a silly little
amusement park where you can purchase limited edition and special Labubus only available at the park. Makoko, Labubu's friend, also does live performances of songs where she dances with her background dancers, and there are areas at the park where you can interact with Labubus like they're in little enclosures, like they're little creatures on display.
It seems that this popularity is only from recent years in the United States, and while I attribute a lot of it to those previous musicians that I mentioned, I also attribute it to the rise of TikTok Shop. Which, if you're interested, I do want to make a video about TikTok Shop, where I talk about how I basically think TikTok Shop has reinvented the home shopping network in the United States. If you're interested in that, please let me know in the comments.
As mentioned before, Labubu is a part of the Monster series, yet she is not the only character. There are other characters that are part of the Monster series that are just as beloved. These characters include,
of course, Labubu, Mokoko, Labubu's best friend, Taikoko, Labubu's boyfriend, and Zimomo, the only male Labubu. He is the father and the leader of all of the Labubus. And one of the things that is notable about Zimomos is that they have tails and Labubus do not. For those who love Labubu, they think she's quite adorable. She has a sweet little toothy grin, fuzzy fur, and itty-bitty hands and feet. Not only that, she's pocket-sized, so you can take her with you on the go. And many people attach them to their bags as fashion statements and accessories. Not only that, you can dress the Labubus up in tiny little outfits of their own. And many people choose outfits that are reflective of their own personal aesthetics. Labubus also come in a variety of different colors, which allows people to find one that suits them best. However, because they are a blind box toy, this presents some issues, which I will be going into my next point. Pop Mart, please let me buy one. As I mentioned before, Labubus are a blind box toy, which is another form of gachapon. For those who don't know, gachapon are those little machines that if you go into like a bowling alley, they'll be like little cubes, and inside there's these little bubble poppers, and you put in like 1 to 4 coins, you turn the handle, and one of the little bubbles pops out. You open it up, and typically it has a shitty little, ring. Maybe it's a tattoo. Sometimes it's one of those silly slap hands. Well, in Asia, they're a little bit nicer. They're a lot nicer, actually. And, you can get a variety of different things out of them. It's even to the point where people can get fandom-related items out of these gachapon machines. However, like I said, blind boxes are a form of gachapon. So while they might not be coming straight out of these machines, the concept is still the same. Typically, Labubus come in sets of 6 with a 7th secret color. And if you buy an individual box, you have a chance It's like a 1 in 6 chance of getting one of the standard colors. And then I think it's like something like crazy, like a 1 in 72 chance to get the secret. If you're buying a whole set, that's great. You have all the colors now, and maybe even a secret. But if you're buying one, you have no idea what color you're going to get. And because of that, people like to buy a lot of them so that they can ensure that they get the color that they want. This becomes a problem when people have such a high demand for the color that they desire or collecting a whole set that scalpers now have their sights on these toys. And because scalpers have their sights on these toys, it's making the price go up, which is why I have a little bit of beef with Pop Mart. Pop Mart, as far as I'm aware, is not doing anything to curb these scalpers. There is no account verification, and there is no sort of product limit. And in other words, you can buy as many boxes, individual boxes, or as many sets as you want. I checked this on their website the last time I went on there. I will check again as I'm editing, and if anything changes, I will go ahead and put that in. But as far as I'm aware, they have no security measures put into place to prevent scalping. Because of these scalpers and people's desire to either get as many as they can, full sets, they really want one specific color, this is creating a sense of false scarcity. Pop Mart can make these toys, and they could probably keep up with demand, but they are not doing so in a way that is consumer friendly, I would say. Part of the reason I would say it's not consumer friendly is because of those lack of security measures. I have seen other companies such as ColourPop put in measures into place, such as limiting the quantity that an individual account can purchase. So I do know it's possible to curb scalpers. And when the scalpers finally do get their hands on them, they'll be marking up the prices, sometimes 50% or more. Just scrolling through TikTok, you can see a ton of live streamers reselling Labubus and other blind box items for way more than their fair market price. And again, there's no guarantee that this product is even going to be real. So having someone pay that price for a fake item is unfair. You deserve to know what you're spending your money on. Now, I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money. If you want to buy a Labubu, go right ahead. If you want to buy 1,000,000 Labubus, go ahead. My issue is really with these scalpers and the fact that Pop Mart seems to not be doing anything to stop them. And it's really, really frustrating as someone who desires one and really can't buy one. And partially, these scalpers will not only sell the real ones at exorbitantly high prices, they will also sell fakes for the same price as the real ones. And if you're going to buy a fake, that's fine. I think people should be allowed to buy fakes. But I don't think people should be paying real Labubu money for fake Labubu quality. It's not the same thing. So let's talk about bootlegs for a moment. Bootlegging has been around almost as long as humans have been running companies. In fact, the oldest example in human history that we have of potential bootlegging is the complaint tablet of Ya Nasir, where a man named Nani sent a stone tablet with his complaint to Ya Nasir for selling him low-quality copper, saying, "Take cognizance that from now on I will not accept any copper from you that is not fine quality." However, the term bootleg came about during the 1880s, during the rise of prohibition in the United States. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, the origins of the word bootleg come from the concealment of a flask of liquor in the leg of a boot. Alcohol was in high demand, and during prohibition, they would just basically literally hide the alcohol in their boots as they were going across country borders, state lines, and when they would get to their destination, they'd just take it out. Nowadays, we don't have to conceal our dubiously legal items. In fact, you can buy them basically online and in stores and malls. This one was bought at a gas station in Texas, and this one is from AliExpress. Bootlegs are all over the Labubu community. I have a couple of bootlegs myself. Bootleg Labubus are called Lafufus by the community, and these are the two that I have. This is supposed to be the Big Into Energy series, and this is supposed to be a Have a Seat. There's some obvious issues with each of them. This one's a little worse than this one. These two are actually quite good, but there's definitely some obvious problems. For starters, the face on this one is quite warped, and that might be just from the heat, the Texas heat that it came from. My friend did ship this to me from Texas, so that might be the final got warped in transit. But the head is also ginormous, and when I'm not holding it up, it just kind of flops over. The hands and feet are incredibly mobile. They don't really feel so secure in there, and the head also feels like it could come off at any moment. The keychain itself is fine. And then this is the Big Into Energy one. This one is a much better dupe. Let me go ahead and take its little sweater off. There we go. The fur quality it's not as soft as I would hope, but it is still very cute. It actually has the correct number of teeth. All Labubus have 9 teeth. So this one has the correct number of teeth. This one's feet and hands move around pretty easy too, as well as its head, but it's a lot better than this one, and I will do some close-up shots. Let's go over some of our terminology that the community uses. Labubus are always going to be 100% real. A Lafufu is going to be a fake Labubu. And there are different ways to tell if your Labubu is real or fake. There are some pretty good fakes out there. But in order to tell if your Labubu is real or fake, typically the hallmarks of them is they have a few different verifications. First of all, like I mentioned before, a real Labubu will only have 9 teeth. This one has 9 teeth, but there's quite a few different problems. It'll also have a UV reactive stamp on the bottom of its foot. I don't have a UV light to test if the fake company put one on this one. But that is a hallmark of a fake. There will also be a QR code on the Labubu that you can scan by the website to see if it's real or not. This Lafufu does not have any sort of QR code. Not only that, the eyes will be drastically different. Like on this one, I will put up a real Labubu for comparison. And typically, the real Labubu's ears poke in, whereas fake ones oftentimes are very straight up and down. I feel like this one is a little bit more obvious, the apparent issues. They did put a logo on the bottom of the foot, but this is not a reactive logo. This is just a clear plastic insert. Obviously, the head is like way too big and floppy. It's not very well made. And again, there is no QR code on the tag. Also, hold on. This one has 10 teeth, so that's a big hallmark of a fake. There is also a third category called chafufus. Chafufus are vaguely Labubu shaped, but there's something obvious and blatantly wrong with them. One of my favorite chafufus is one that is a quadrupedal plush that can walk. Like, it has like little animatronic legs in it, kind of like those like dog toys that can walk around, and they're absolutely ridiculous. People like to put their Labubus on top of them and have them ride them like they're horses. It's very silly. And honestly, I love those chafufus. They're so silly. A particularly ugly Labubu will be called a Ladudu or a Lapupu because they are just kind of, there's just something a little bit wrong with them. Speaking of which, I would like to take a moment to thank Gas Station Candy for donating both of these Labubus for today's video. I really do appreciate it. If it was not for her, this video would not be able to be made. So shout out to her, give her all the love in the comments. And we're just gonna go over to my first live reaction of opening this one, and we'll be back after that. All right, so the fake Labubu has finally arrived. It was sent to me by a friend and viewer of the channel, Jazz, also known as Gas Station Candy. She was kind enough to provide us with one. So it took a very long time for this to arrive. Longer than I think either of us were anticipating. There is no box in here. I did pick the color. It's supposed to be a duplicate of or a replica of the Labubu Love from the Big Into Energy series. So since we picked it, I guess they decided it didn't need a box, which is fine. It just came in a bubble mailer, and it literally arrived probably 20 minutes ago. I just had to get set up for filming, and I'm very excited. So without further ado, let's open it. We're gonna talk about the quality and kind of how the face looks. And I will put some close-ups in as I talk about it. All right. Oh, it does come with a box. You just assemble the box yourself. That's cute. And the bag. It's like a little DIY kit, and then there's the Labubu. Okay, so that's interesting. Maybe I will show in the close-ups me putting it in the box and fake opening it. I think that would be kind of silly. Give me a second so I can get my gloves on. Okay. Alright, so comes in plastic. I'm actually kind of impressed with how nicely this is wrapped. Please ignore the crinkle sounds. I'm so sorry. Get it open. This Labubu looks a little flattened out. Oh my god. It actually doesn't look that bad. It's just a little flat, but I have polyurethane stuffing. The head is kind of wobbly. It's so cute though. This is a really good duplicate. I'm actually really happy with this. Like I said, it's a little bit flat. I think that's partially because of shipping, but who knows? Maybe I can just toss her into the dryer and she'll fluff right up. This is a really good replica, actually. And the head is actually on a little bit stronger. From what I understand, the actual dolls, their heads do also rotate, so it is on there pretty good. I'm sure if I yanked it, it would probably come right off. But I'm not really interested in turning her head so much, so I might actually just sew it down just to make sure that it's a little bit more secure. The feet rotate too. But yeah, no, this is a really good Labubu duplicate. This is show. My friend who bought it is also on camera with me, so I'm just showing it to her. I'll show you a better one, a better close-up later, Jazz. But this it's so cute. 1, 2, 8, 9. It has 9 teeth, like the real one. And it's a pretty good size. So I also did buy some clothes for the Labubu. I purchased these myself, and we were really nervous this was not going to arrive. We were scared we got scammed, but it did show up. And I got this, I thought I'd make it match me. So, the Labubu is kind of like a red and pink color. So I got
some cyan colored clothes. This is like a hoodie, and then this jacket goes over the hoodie, and then it came with some cute little bloomers, and that's one outfit. And then the other outfit is just a stretchy sweater. It looks really tiny, but it's a stretchy sweater and a little hat. And there's like a hole in the top so that the Labubu's ears can fit. Wow, this is actually really, really good. I'm really happy with it. It looks so cute. There's some tells that definitely, like when I do my close-ups, I'll describe them a little bit better. But there are some tells, like the eyes and like the face paint itself, that does like tell that it is fake. But it is a very good fake. Like this is like an amazing fake. I'm really happy with it. As I mentioned, like I couldn't get my hands on a real one, part of the reason I'm making this video. And honestly, I think replicas are totally fine. If you want to get a replica Labubu, a replica like Louis Vuitton bag, I don't think that's that big of a deal. I don't think they're gonna miss my $20-$30 that I can't even spend. You know what I mean? And I'm not like too like it doesn't matter that much to me that it's real. I just think it's really, really, really cute. And the fact of the matter is, like, just the scalpers just make it so hard to get hands on, which I've mentioned earlier in the video. But like, yeah, look at it. It's so cute. It is so cute. I am so happy. Again, thank you so much, Jazz, also known as Gas Station Candy, for sending this to me. She also got a backup Labubu that she was actually going to send out to me tomorrow at the time of recording this, but she gets to keep it for herself. So I'll ask her to send some pictures of her fake Labubu. She got it from a gas station near her house. So we'll put those in as well and kind of like compare this one to the one that she got, because apparently, according to the ones on displays, they looked a little crazy. But yeah. This is so cute. I am so happy.
So, what can we learn from all of this? I'd say be a little bit more conscious with your coin. Do you want a Labubu because everybody wants a Labubu? And if the answer is yes, maybe take some time, put it to the side, and revisit it later. See how you feel then. If you still want one, go ahead. Go for it. Buy one. But if you're like, no, the hype in my heart has died down, maybe it's not a good idea to purchase one. But if the answer is, do I want one because everyone else wants one, is no, I'd say still go for it. Because, you know, you might have your own personal reasons for wanting a Labubu. I personally really like them because I think that they look like the cute little wild things from Where the Wild Things Are. I will put up a picture of the one I'm specifically thinking of, because I know there's quite a few of them, but one of them looks a lot like a Labubu. Or I guess a Labubu looks a lot like it. I think also we need to hold these companies a little bit more accountable, especially those that just allow rampant scalping. I would say that we should start demanding that they really put anti-scalping measures into place, especially if they want us to buy their product. And if they don't, maybe pull back some of our support until they do. It is unfair that customers want to buy from you, and yet you do not allow them to actually do so. And, you know, that's just frustrating for anything, regardless of whether it's a cute little toy or something more expensive. Because you imagine if people were doing this with, like, cars or TVs, of all things. Your money is valuable. It's your money, and you get to choose where you spend it. So don't let companies like this take advantage. Now, if you still want to support Pop Mart, that's fine. I don't care. I'm just saying, let's hold them to some level of accountability. That is all that I have to say for now. If you like the video, please leave a like. Tell me, do you like this new sort of video format? If you haven't subscribed yet, follow me on all my social media. It's Earl Mothra of Fangbanger on all of them. TikTok, Instagram, Tumblr, and Blue Skies. If you are 18 years or older and you want to have a more personal conversation with me, feel free to join my Discord server. The link will be in the description. I really had fun making this video. I really hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.